Good morning, everyone!
Hello, and welcome to your Monday. I know we're just starting out the week, but thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Rise and shine, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Let's make sure your Monday and your whole week is off to a great start with good vibes, inspiration, and the best company.
Happy Monday. I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. Another week. Another week with my favorite people.
Yay!
Why does that feel sarcastic? Are you okay?
What? I was being
What have we done?
What
What have we done? No, we did
I
not.
was so excited about it.
It was so genuine,
That did not sound genuine. I am afeared.
I'm feared?
What's a feared?
What?
Seryoso? Wait,
I was like,
basta.
this doesn't sound
It
right.
did not sound right.
April Fool's Day again today?
No, afeared is an actual word.
I've literally never heard of that
No
before.
way.
I know,
am
afeared. Or I am
Pwede
fearing
yun. I
for
respect
my
that.
life.
I respect that. I respect that.
At least you and Anne are on the same boat.
That sounded really genuine.
Mapapag-google ako sa umaga.
But don't you feel like the weekend just passed
The weekend
by?
literally
It was
always
so short.
flies. I felt like it was just Friday yesterday,
Oh
and then
my
today was Monday, and I
goodness.
said, whoa.
Like every time it's a Sunday, I'm like, what? I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. again tomorrow. but
guys,
we're so
like,
happy to be here.
It's almost like mid-April, which is crazy.
Mid-April.
Oh, kinda. Like it's April 7th, but like it's
No,
flying
it's not
by.
mid-April.
Almost nga. It's flying. Next thing you know, it's about to be May. I've been seeing
So it's almost
gonna
May.
be May.
Yes, I've been seeing memes already with Justin popping up. So it's coming.
Teka lang, bago mag-May, it's Holy Week next week, so we're looking forward to
Oh,
that. At
it's
least we
next
get
week na pala.
like a short break, you know.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
think it's end of April. Next week na pala. So mid-May.
It changes
so we're
kasi,
almost
diba?
mid-May.
The Holy Week schedule
Mid-April.
changes. So for this
Yeah.
year, it's the week of April 14.
I'm just comforted in knowing that afeared actually is a word. So I just Googled it. I'm all good. But yes,
At least you
so
and
we
I
learned
didn't know about it,
something.
so
Yeah,
we
yeah,
learned
yeah.
something
yeah, because
today.
afeared just means afraid. It's the same thing.
Feared.
Feared. Like A with feared,
Yeah.
in one word, afeared.
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
Afeared.
I'm about to start
Oo.
using that.
Anyway, okay, so apart from your word of the day, right? Of course, we have an interesting guest here today. We're going to talk about animal rights in
Yes.
particular.
Yes.
Something that you
Finally.
two...
Yeah.
Finally? Haven't we
Finally.
not?
No,
we've talked
wanted,
about it.
We've always
but-
wanted to tackle that on the show, right? Animal rights and the laws that protect animals here in the
Especially
Philippines.
since it's not as strict as we want it to be, and there's been an
Those
uprise in
cases.
cases recently.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that we're bringing this topic about, especially this morning on a Monday. So let's see what happens. And we have a Weather HQ guest as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, like we're gonna get more information. Or we're gonna find out about something that I think everyone will be interested coming from the south of the metro, at least a bit further beyond south. I don't know, just a little clue.
I know. It's
A
like, give
bit of
us
a drive
give us a little
outside of
tip.
outside of the South Metro, and you're going to see this. So we're gonna talk a bit more about it later on. I'm gonna just leave you on the edge of your seats. No real clues until later on.
Wow,
But then, of
such a
course, we
teaser.
have a lot to talk about this week in general. So let's get started.
Yeah, first let's talk about how bad the traffic
Yeah,
is
we
this
saw
morning.
a glimpse a while ago, but let's check out the major roads in Metro Manila at this hour. Here is the situation along Commonwealth Avenue in Quezon City. This is the feed from the Techno Hub. Eastbound portion on the left side are vehicles going to Sandigan Bayan. We got moderate traffic on that stretch. There's also the counterflow lane. And the right side, for the vehicles headed to Quezon Memorial Circle, you will be stepping on the brakes. Heavy traffic already on that stretch. Now let's take a look at EDSA White Plains this time. On the left side is the southbound lane going to Shaw Boulevard. Moderate traffic on that stretch. Still a good time to drive on the opposite lane on the right side. That's the northbound lane headed to Cubao. Now, the expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's a Monday, guys. Vehicles with license plates ending in 1 and 2 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Now, motorists, y'all better gas up now because fuel prices are seen to increase this week. Industry projections say diesel prices may soar from 20 centavos to 70 centavos per liter, while gasoline prices are expected to increase from 30 centavos to 70 centavos a liter. The Energy Department says among the factors behind the projected price adjustment include the expected decline of China's refinery output. Analysts also pointed out the potential impact of the intensifying trade war and the U.S. secondary tariffs on Russian crude. Now let's find out if we will fear the weather on this Monday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao Pao.
Grabe, nagamit mo yung reference ko. Afir. All right, thank you so much, Mo. Today, the country is experiencing the influence of two major weather systems. Let's go first to the intertropical convergence zone, which you can find primarily impacts Palawan and parts of southern Mindanao. So really, this area here affected by the ITCZ or the intertropical convergence zone, bringing various weather disturbances. Now, there's also the easterlies that you have to watch out for. This affects the rest of the country and are contributing to weather conditions that include warmer temperatures and possible localized rain. So down here, ITCZ and the easterlies for the rest of the country. But let us focus first on the southern part of the country. The ITCZ, or the Intertropical Convergence Zone, is expected to bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms all throughout the day. So as you can see here, all this area, all affected by the ITCZ. Now, this will particularly affect the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or BARM, Zamboanga Peninsula, and Palawan. Now, the heavy rains and thunderstorms could lead to localized flooding and strong winds. So, residents in these areas should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions. Now, the ITCZ can create unpredictable weather. So, it is advisable to stay updated through local forecasts, just like this. Now, let's go on to Luzon and the Visayas, where the weather will be generally partly cloudy to cloudy. However, there's still a chance of isolated rain showers or thunderstorms in some areas, especially in the afternoon and the evening. Now, these weather patterns are typically associated with the presence of the easterlies, which brings moisture from the Pacific Ocean to contribute to localized and often brief rainfall events. Now, residents in these regions should be prepared for fluctuating conditions, as some areas could experience the sudden rain showers or thunderstorms, especially later in the day. Now, overall, it's important to stay updated with the latest weather reports, as these systems may cause significant local weather variations in weather conditions, so stay safe and stay informed. Now, let's take a look at the heat indices here as we take a look at the forecast provided by Pag-asa. So as we go through the list here, as you would note, the heat is still very much present. Let's take a look at the danger, the areas considered as under danger at the moment with really high temperatures. Starting off first with three particular provinces. First off, we go to Catanduanes with 43 degrees Celsius, Dagupan, Pangasinan with 42 degrees Celsius, and Dumangas in Iloilo also at 42 degrees Celsius. Now, again, we have to remind people to make sure that this is going to be something that they are prepared for, that this is a combination of both humidity and the temperature as well. So this is more of the feel-like temperature that they will experience all throughout the day. Once again, Catanduanes, Dagupan, Pangasinan, and Dumangas in Iloilo. Now, let's also take a look at these other areas now placed in intense heat, forecast heat index of around 41 degrees Celsius. Now, this is the areas under extreme caution. Now, let's take a look at this. Tuguegarao, Cagayan, Etiaga, Isabela, Iba, Zambales, Subic Bay, Olongapo, Camiling in Tarlac, Sangley Point in Cavite, Puerto Princesa City in Palawan, Aborlan, Palawan, Cuyo, Palawan, Iloilo City, La Granja, and La Carlota, Negros Occidental, Baybay in Leyte, Cotabato City in Maguindanao, and Butuan in Agusan del Norte. All of this ranging from around 41 degrees Celsius. So all of this under extreme caution. Now, additional locations under extreme caution with a heat index of around 40 degrees Celsius, so just a step below that, include Metro Manila, Lawag, Ilocos Norte, Casiguran, Aurora, Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, San Ildefonso in Bulacan, Hacienda, Luisita in Tarlac, Tanawan in Batangas, Tayabas in Quezon, Alabat in Quezon as well, Coron, Palawan, San Jose in Occidental Mindoro, Catbalogan in Western Samar, Tacloban in Leyte, Borongan in Eastern Samar, Gian in Eastern Samar, Dipolog in Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga City, Hinatuan Cabanatuan, and Surigao del Sur as well. Now, with these extreme weather conditions in play, it is crucial to stay alert and prioritize your safety to avoid heat-related dangers. Stay hydrated, avoid a prolonged exposure to direct sunlight, and wear light, loose clothing. If you are outdoors, make sure you take regular breaks in shaded and cool areas. Listen to your body. Now, if you feel dizzy, nauseous, or unwell, seek shelter and cool off immediately. Now, off to the sea conditions. There are no gale warnings at this time, so as always, mariners and fishermen can safely venture out to sea. But remember, stay alert, keep track of any weather updates or advisories that may be issued all throughout the day. Weather conditions, as we mentioned a while ago, can change rapidly, so it's always best to prioritize your safety and stay prepared. That's it for Weather HQ at the moment. Back to you, girls.
Thank you, Pao. Now heads up to commuters. MRT3 operations will temporarily suspend their operations on Maundy Thursday, April 17 until Easter Sunday, April 20. This is to give way for their annual Holy Week maintenance activities. Operating hours on Holy Wednesday will be extended with the train leaving 10:30 p.m. from North Avenue Station and 11:09 p.m. from Taft Avenue Station. Regular operations will resume on Monday, April 21st.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte expresses wanting to come home already after almost a month in detention in The Hague, the Netherlands. Vice President Sara Duterte told reporters her father wants to come home as soon as possible, saying he is an old man and he can die anytime and he wants to die in his own country. Sara assured his father that she understands him and her team is doing everything they can. Duterte's lead defense counsel, Nicholas Kaufman, had earlier said that their team is looking to file a petition before the ICC for Duterte's interim release. If the court grants the petition for the interim release, FPRRD would be committed to other ICC member countries instead of the Philippines. VP Sara told FPRRD she is leaving it up to the defense team to look into the best legal strategy.
There appears to be a growing list of suspicious and fictional-sounding individuals who received confidential funds from the Office of the Vice President and DepEd under VP Sara Duterte's watch. House Deputy Majority Leader Paolo Ortega said those who received a total of 612.5 million pesos combined confidential funds include Hanilet Camille C., Fiona Biong, Fiona Villegas, Fiona Ranitez, Ellen Magellan, Erwin Q. Ewan, Gary Tanada, and Joel Linangan, all sounding like names of known Filipino figures. Now, the new batch of names did not appear to have official birth, marriage, and death records from the Philippine Statistics Authority. Ortega said this is not funny anymore, as the repetition and creativity of the names no longer seem coincidental.
A member of the House prosecution panel insists that Vice President Sara Duterte must face the impeachment court or risk appearing evasive. House prosecutor and Iloilo Representative Lawrence Defensor said both the VP and the public will benefit if Duterte attends the trial. Defensor also insisted the impeachment trial would be Duterte's opportunity to defend and prove herself innocent. If the VP attends her impeachment trial, it would be a chance to clear her name before the 12 senator judges and to address the 7 articles of impeachment live for all Filipinos to watch. VP Sara is currently at The Hague to support her father, FPRRD, who is facing trial before the International Criminal Court.
The PhilHealth Fund is not depleted. This is according to President Bongbong Marcos himself, despite the transfer of 89.9 billion in unused funds to the National Treasury. In the President's speech in Antipolo City for the Trabaho at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan sa Bagong Pilipinas Job Fair, he said that since last year, the services of insurance being paid by PhilHealth have increased instead of going down. The President added the services of PhilHealth are very important, especially to workers who do lose income when they get sick. The Supreme Court issued a temporary restraining order in October on the transfer in the stages of the 89.9 billion idle fund.
Progressive groups on Sunday launched a movement seeking accountability as former President Rodrigo Duterte faces trial before the International Criminal Court. Families of victims, human rights advocates, faith-based groups, together with Bayan Muna, all attended the launching they called White Ribbon Duterte Panagutin. The groups are seeking justice for those killed under the Duterte administration's bloody drug war. Former Bayan Muna representative Nery Colmenares said White Ribbon symbolizes their collective grief and their unwavering resolve to seek justice. They also called on the Marcos administration to protect victims and their families and to fully cooperate with the ICC proceedings.
The Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated has elected a new president after a 3-day national convention and elections. Victor Lim, President and CEO of Vico Paper Corporation and Everwealth Traders and Development Corporation, has been elected as FFCCCII President, replacing its outgoing President, Dr. Cecilio Pedro. Pedro led FFCCCII through post-pandemic recovery from 2023 to 2025 and was key on their digitalization efforts. Lim, a chemical engineering graduate from the University of Santo Tomas, held leadership roles in paper, trade, and education sectors. He also previously served as FFCCCII Executive Vice President.
In world news, Myanmar's death toll rises to 3,564, with 5,000 more injured and 210 still missing. That's according to a state media after a 7.9 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar on March 28. Rains have hampered rescue and relief operations in the earthquake-hit country over the weekend. It also raised the risk of diseases for evacuees staying at tents and shelters. Aid agencies warn unreasonable rains and extreme heat could cause outbreaks of disease among quake survivors camping in the open. Meanwhile, in neighboring country in Thailand, 24 have been reported killed by the earthquake. 17 more are still missing. Over 50 countries have reached out to the White House to begin trade talks. That's according to U.S. President Donald Trump's top economic advisor on Sunday, as officials sought to defend sweeping new tariffs that have unleashed global turmoil. Trump jolted economies around the world after he announced broad tariffs on U.S. imports, triggering retaliatory levies from China and sparking fears of globe trade war and recession. Markets now face another week of potential tariff turmoil after the worst week for U.S. stocks since the onset of COVID-19 pandemic 5 years ago. Thousands took to the streets of downtown Los Angeles over the weekend to protest against Trump and his policies. This was one of 1,200 demonstrations across the U.S. on a single day of protest against Trump and Musk's rapid-fire overhaul in the government. Thousands also gathered in the streets of New York, Washington, D.C., and Colorado, among others. Several hundred more joined the protest, too, in other parts of the world, like Berlin, London, and Paris.
Over in sports, the Adams and Lady Falcons with a statement victory as the Final Four race heats up in UAAP Season 87. The Lady Falcons stunned the defending champs, the NU Lady Bulldogs, in 4 thrilling sets Sunday at Smart Araneta Coliseum. Adamson super rookie Shaina Netura had a monster game of 32 points, her 4th 30-point outing this season. Adamson is tied with the Ateneo Blue Eagles with a 4-7 win-loss record. NU remains on top with 9 wins and 2 losses. Over in the first game, the FEU Lady Tamaraos also keeping their semis bid alive by escaping the UP Lady Maroons in 4. FEU is also tied with the UST Golden Tigresses with an identical 7-4 record. UP is at 5-6. From the Tower Flex, let's go to the hard court where the Meralco Bolts charged through a perfect start so far in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Bolts put the brakes on Terfirma Jeep Sunday at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium by 38 huge points. 118-80, CJ Cancino led the Bolts with 19 points, while the best player of the game honors go to Bong Quinto, who chipped in with 13 markers. 4 other Meralco players scored in double figures, while Meralco begins the All-Filipino Conference with a 2-0 win-loss record. In the next game, the Converge Fiber Xers get their first dub of the conference against the Phoenix Fuelmasters 92-83. Alex Stockton top scores for Converge with 18 points, while Shawnee Winston added on 14. Best player of the game, Justin Baltazar, 9 points, and ruled the boards with a game-high 16 rebounds to add on with 6 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. Now shifting gears literally to Formula One. Max Verstappen remains the king of the Japanese Grand Prix for the 4th straight year. The Red Bull superstar crossed the line for his 64th Grand Prix victory in Suzuka Sunday, to a huge ovation from the over 115,000 crowd in attendance. A podium finish as well for the McLaren tandem of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri at 2nd and 3rd respectively. Hometown bet Yuki Tsunoda made his Red Bull debut with a 12th place finish.
In entertainment, the Eraserheads won't be in full force ahead of their much-awaited headlining concert next month. In a statement, frontman Eli Buendia says lead guitarist Marcus Adoro is stepping back from its upcoming project to address sexual abuse allegations against him. Buendia also says the band condemns all criminal acts and stand against abuse of any form. The announcement comes ahead of the EHEAD's Electric Fun Music Festival, scheduled for May 31st in Parañaque.
HBO's dark comedy drama anthology series, White Lotus, reaches its season finale. Its 8th and final episode will drop on Max at 9 p.m. Sunday in the U.S. or 9 a.m. later in the Philippine time. Theories have started to pour in on social media from fans anticipating how the twisted stories of the characters will play out. Filmmaker Mike White is known for writing wildly unexpected plot twists in this series. White Lotus follows the entangled lives of affluent guests and resort employees at the luxurious White Lotus Resort, where an indulgent getaway opens a Pandora's box of lies, secrets, chaos, and crime. I've been following White Lotus and I cannot wait. Literally, my whole social media, they're all theories. So anything goes. Because I've seen some of the cast, there were like 6 different endings.
Yeah.
So they don't even know who dies. And they said it's the most unexpected one. So I'm nervous. I have to watch it today. I have to see it. I can't wait.
6 different
fake
That's
endings.
Crazy, yeah.
It's insane. Have you guys watched it?
No. But I read an article that during the actual shooting of the finale, they had a enclosed location with restricted access. So only a few people actually know what's going to happen in the end.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Mike White, I cannot say his name. I don't know how he comes up with these stories. Apparently for this exact one, he was hallucinating in Thailand. That's how he came up with the story plot. It's so interesting.
On what?
I think he was sick and I don't know what he was on, but he hallucinated it and that's how the plot came about.
Hallucinating in Thailand. I'm curious.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mo at the end of the series, when she finally watches the finale, she ends up a bit knocked out as if she went boxing. But then when you look at the how the series has progressed, would you say that this is probably one of the bigger dramatic series that we've seen in years? I mean, like I look back at the likes of Breaking Bad in the day, Game of Thrones when it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, like where would you rank White Lotus in your list?
I don't know if it's as dramatic as like, what is it? The HBO one with all the dragons.
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, the other one, the House of Dragons. That's the one.
Okay.
That's not done yet.
I know, but I mean, we already had the season 1, but I'm saying I don't think it's as dramatic and as action-packed. White Lotus is more for you to think and like
How about
anticipate. Severance. Oh, I loved Severance.
See, so
too.
like when you compare the two, like would you put one over the other?
Severance makes you think more because I
You
feel
still
like
haven't seen Shogun yet.
I haven't seen Shogun
There's
yet.
just so much
So
good
it's
TV.
White
to
Lotus, they
compare.
said there's such jabs, like subtle jabs that
yeah.
you never thought of until you hear the theories and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Whereas
Yeah.
like Severance, it's all laid out and you can think about it. Where White
Yeah.
Lotus, I don't know, it's different.
And they're all different shows. It's hard to
Galing.
compare.
This one is
Like-
slowest one, but the most dramatic of all the seasons.
Well, you know what? Either way, I have a feeling you're going to get into a lot of arguments when it comes to like which show is better or which show you put one over the other.
Yeah.
But of course, here's someone that we're going to guess soon who will argue for animals because they can't speak English.
Yes, my kind of girl. So Anne, take it away.
There's a lawyer who's using her platform to push for stronger animal protection laws. Attorney Janna Abella will join us live after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Animals have rights too, and our guest today is on a mission to defend them using the power of the law. Joining us is animal rights advocate, Attorney Janna Abella. It's a beautiful day, Attorney Janna. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. It's good to be here.
Attorney Janna, you grew up in a family that loves animals. You opened your home to stray cats and stray dogs. And your mom, I believe, has always been an animal welfare advocate. Now, what experiences in your early life led you to view pets as family members, not just pets? And how did these shape your commitments to animal rights?
So as you mentioned, my mom is actually the biggest animal lover. So when I grew up, I had to share the home with a lot of aspins and puspins.
Yeah.
So I also learned how to take care of them as I was growing up. And when I grew older, I decided I wanted to be more like my mom. So that's why I joined PAWS, which is the Philippine Animal Welfare Society. So we are an NGO, non-government. We are non-profit. We are completely volunteer-led and dedicated to promoting animal welfare and protecting animals.
You know what, Attorney, what I love about obviously going through all your work and going through all of your socials is the realizations that you're so into this that you actually made it your thesis. You went and really dissected the 1998 Animal Welfare Act here in the Philippines, and you look for the gaps. When you were going through all of that, what do you feel really tugged at your heartstrings the most in the way of that you wanted to use this as a tool to help protect animals?
So one thing I'd like to note is that the penalty for any act of animal cruelty or animal abuse is, let's say, not sufficient. I would consider it not sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
So the penalty is, let's say, a fine between 1K to 5K,
Yeah.
and or imprisonment between 6 months to 2 years.
Okay.
So so I believe that that's not sufficient, and we actually have right now Senate Bill 2458, the revised Animal Welfare Act, which aims to increase those penalties and also create an animal welfare fund, so a budget for animal welfare programs, as well as the creation of the Animal Welfare Bureau.
How far behind are we from our neighboring countries when it comes to animal welfare rights, at least written into the legislation?
Surprisingly, the Philippines is actually one of the first countries here in Asia to enact an animal welfare and animal rights law. So the problem, I believe, mainly is in implementation and execution.
Okay. You know, Anne and I are both animal advocates, and we love that you're doing this because we need more people like you to speak up for the voiceless. So what can we do as everyday people right now? Because I totally agree that the Animal Welfare Act is insufficient. But what can we do as human just citizens right now until it is sufficient enough to help the voiceless?
Okay, so if you want to support animal welfare initiatives, particularly of PAWS, there are actually a lot of ways. So first is through donations. So we have the donation channels on our website, so that's paws.org.ph. And a second option is volunteering, so donating your time. So we will be opening volunteer applications starting May. So as volunteers, you will get the chance to actively work with the animals, clip their nails, groom them, as well as clean the shelter. And also, let's say if your company is planning CSR initiatives, or if you're looking for a meaningful way to celebrate your birthday, your anniversary, or your special events, you can actually come celebrate with PAWS. So you can schedule a PAWS shelter cleaning or shelter feeding with your friends, your family, your loved ones. So you can reach out to PAWS and actually help us feed the animals for a day or clean the shelter. So we look forward to celebrating with everyone actually.
Attorney Janna, you mentioned a while ago that the Philippines, we do have laws that protect animal rights, animal welfare, but it's the implementation of these laws that is a problem. Why is that?
So I would say that we need more LGU action, as well as more animal-friendly policies and programs at the LGU level. So PAWS, we actually have Kapon outreach for different LGUs, but what we want is, we want LGUs to be transparent about their animal population control operations. We want them to be transparent as to the number of animals that are impounded, euthanized in the pounds, and adopted. We want to know the treatment and the conditions of those animals in pounds. We believe that if the LGUs are more transparent about the actual numbers, then maybe more people would be encouraged to adopt from their local shelter, their local pound, instead of buying.
What are your thoughts, though, on the pounds? Most of the pounds here in the Philippines, they say they're no kill, but most of them are. What are your thoughts, and what advancements are you guys doing to help with that?
So as I mentioned, we actually have Kapon outreach. So we actively encourage everyone to have their pets spayed or neutered, because one of the realities is we have pet owners who have pets at home who are not spayed or neutered. And then those pets have outside playtime. And then when they go outside, they may mate with, let's say, stray cats, stray dogs. So that leads to an increase in the population of strays. And those strays, they don't have families or homes. And then so their pets will go back to their families. So we actively encourage everyone to spay and neuter, and we also offer low-cost kapon and free kapon for indigents. And we also work with LGUs to bring kapon outreach to their areas.
You know, what I love about the work that you're doing is that you're an attorney and you're using your college, your actual degree to actually help out the animals. And again, I just have to emphasize that this is not your main job. You actually have a job, but I just want to go into your own motivation, because this does take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of heart, a lot of emotion, I can only imagine. So what really motivates you to dive into something like this? Because it's not easy. I've seen these two girls cry about strays, about abused animals a lot. And here you are at the forefront, going forward and really addressing this issue head on in a way that is probably more graphic than most people can.
I think it's a matter of incorporating your advocacy into your personal and professional life. So as I mentioned, we are completely staffed by volunteers. So we have volunteers who actually turn their hobbies into a way for PAWS to be supported. So we have volunteers who crochet as a hobby. So they donate their crochet stuffed toys, crochet plush dolls. So PAWS can sell those. And we have volunteers who create and design and make stickers. And PAWS also manages to sell those. So all proceeds, of course, go directly for animal operation expenses.
Wait, I love it. Sorry, the idea of people crocheting for the animals. I know that you say it's to sell for them.
They need their stuffed toys.
Hindi, maisip ko, it's like you go to a shelter, then they all have hats.
In India, actually, women in India, they crochet sweaters for the stray dogs. So it's, I think it's so
Baka
cool.
masyado mainit para dito.
It's too hot here, definitely.
But what's one of the more creative ways have you seen people volunteer? Because some people, let's be fair, they don't. When they think about volunteering, they just think you're right. It's the cleaning, it's the working with the dogs. But then, what are some of the more creative ways that you've seen people try and approach these strays or these animals in the shelters?
My favorite one is actually the crochet, so that's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, that's why you mentioned it. Yeah.
I think it's a very creative way, and it's also a way to incorporate your advocacy into your hobby. Because I assume that if you're crocheting as a hobby, then it's your actual you spend time for it, but in a way you're also helping the shelter.
Now, attorney, personally speaking, how many pets do you have? How many dogs? How many cats
You
have
have
you
a
adopted?
cat, teddy bear,
I
right?
do.
Teddy
She's
bear.
also a rescue.
Tell
She's
us all
supposed
about
to
teddy
be-
bear.
She's
Yeah.
around 5 now, so she's
Okay.
a rescue. We picked her up from the streets.
Okay.
So, but we have a lot of cats actually, around, oh my gosh, around 10.
Oh, wow. You're like
Just like
Anne.
me.
I
We
was
have
gonna say
10 cats at
the
home.
same.
You know what? I wanted to ask this because remember before we were talking to someone from the Quezon City government talking about the pounds, animal welfare. My problem with personal na, no,
Okay.
na.
Let's hear your problem.
No, but really, I open my home to stray cats. So I have 10 so far. And then I've two of them,
Same
they're
as me.
pregnant. Yeah, they're pregnant, so I think the number is going to be growing soon. And I really want to have them spayed and neutered. But the thing is, they're very feral. And I can't touch them. Like, even if I feed them, they scratch my hand. So is there like a group that I can go to that can help me catch these cats and bring them to the vet to have them neutered and spayed and then bring them back to me?
We actually offer that service. We call it kabalikat.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Kaba
a
what?
Kabalikat.
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 Yeah.
What does that even
Okay,
mean?
sorry. She is so Phil
I said kaba what?
Can you kindly explain to her what that would mean?
So it's kabali and then hyphen and then cat, as in like a pet cat. So kabalikat.
Okay.
What's kabali mean?
Kabalikat.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
So it's a TNVR program. So TNVR, it's trap, neuter, spay, vaccinate, and then return. So it's really the most effective and permanent way if you want to manage your community cats. So
Yeah,
what we do
yeah.
is we trap those animals, the puspins.
Okay.
We bring them to the shelter so we can have them spayed and neutered so they don't further reproduce, and then
Yeah.
we return them to the area, to the community. So it's the most effective, most humane, and permanent way of managing your population of puspins. So we actually offer free seminars for anyone interested in having their community cats spayed and neutered. So we have free seminars. Please reach out to us at POS.
Okay, so
This
Anne
isn't-
will for sure reach
I know
out to
this is
you.
just not. This isn't a community. This is just one house, my house, with all these 10
It's a
cats.
community. There are 10
pwede siya.
cats.
so you can come to my house and help me, trap these cats, right?
I believe that that's already a
Get it
community
clear.
also.
Okay,
Anyway,
can,
I will
attorney.
talk
Okay,
to you after the
I just
show.
want to explain because it feels like she's saying that leaving her house is like Jumanji. I don't know if that's true.
Jumanji.
Na parang like she has to avoid angry cats. But when we talk about communities helping out, individuals coming in to help out, or those who ask for help, especially when it comes to cats, I mean, like, can you tell us a bit more about the volume that actually does come in? Because I can only imagine that there are only a few places that you could actually turn to. But then, how many volunteers are there servicing? How many requests?
Okay, so we actually open applications for volunteers around every few months.
Yeah.
So we have a rotating number of volunteers.
Oh, okay.
Let's say for the weekends, we usually have more volunteers because people are off work, off school, and then for the weekdays, less. So, but we have full-time animal behavioralist as well as a full-time vet.
Now, attorney, in the Philippines, it makes me sad. Well, just not the Philippines, but everywhere in general, that some people see animals not as a family. They see them completely separate. So how would you tackle that issue when people say, oh, they're just animals, I don't care about them? How do you tackle that issue, and how do you possibly change their minds?
Before I answer, I'd like to actually mention that last Friday was World Animal Stray Day.
Yes, I know, I saw that.
And this month of April is Animal Cruelty Prevention Month. So we actually at POS have a lot of different campaigns so we can encourage people to open their homes and their hearts. So just 2 weeks ago, we launched our Puso para sa Puspin campaign with our celebrity cat ambassador, Jody Santa Maria. So the goal of this campaign is to, again, encourage people to open their homes for adoption of puspins. We want everyone to know that puspins are just as lovable, just as friendly, just as intelligent as other cats. Like you mentioned, I myself, I have a puspin.
Yeah.
So we also want more people to be aware of, let's say, the TNVR programs that I mentioned, neutering, spaying, as well as having a heart and preventing animal cruelty.
It's so funny because some people don't believe that I actually have a I actually adopted a street dog, but it was a Shih Tzu. So people don't believe it kasi masyadong social daw yung Shih Tzu. But then when you look at the concept of adopting instead, especially for those who are looking for a pet, looking for a companion, and normally what's your advice to them? Kasi minsan may na-excite lang eh, but then eventually it does go away. So what's your advice to those who want to adopt, want to try and take care of a stray cat or a stray dog and bring them into their home?
Of course, we actively encourage everyone to adopt, not shop. But my advice for everyone wanting to adopt is to make sure that their homes are actually welcoming for animals. So we don't want an adoption to go sideways, where the animal later on gets abandoned. But we encourage everyone to adopt, because when you adopt, actually you're helping two animals. So you're helping the animal that you adopted. And if you adopt from a shelter, you're also allowing us to have more space to rescue one more animal. Because practically and realistically speaking, we don't have enough space to rescue every animal on the street.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about something a bit more sad, animal cruelty, which I've seen a rise recently. Like my social media, I had to stop using and checking Facebook because it's all animal cruelty stories. What can we as netizens do if we see animal cruelty? Because I know some people, they're kind of shy and they don't want to step up and talk about it or report about it. And like you said, the law is very insufficient. But what can we do as netizens to report if we see it?
Okay, so what normally happens whenever there's an incident of animal abuse or animal cruelty is someone will take photos or record videos, and then those photos or videos will circulate on social media, like you mentioned. So they will go viral, and then we will ask those. We will call for people who have personal knowledge of the incident. If there's anyone who actually saw what happened, who heard about it, who managed to take photos or record videos, to coordinate and cooperate with us, because we cannot proceed with filing legal action if we don't have anyone who has personal knowledge of the incident.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, although it will go viral, we usually do not have anyone who wants to coordinate. Maybe they would tag us, or maybe they would comment or post, but they refuse to work with PAWS. We understand, of course, that filing legal action is completely time-consuming. It's tedious, and we all have jobs and families that we're committed to and we have to attend to. But we need your help, because we cannot file for legal action unless we have someone.
Right.
Tagging us on comments, posts, it's not enough.
Right.
And I would like to mention that PAWS offers free legal services and free legal advice for anyone involved in an incident of animal cruelty or animal abuse. We do not accept any sort of legal fees, acceptance fees. We do not accept any fee.
You know, the sad thing about this is some people, they actually think it's just a normal thing. When they see animal cruelty, they just say, oh, okay lang yan, stray dog lang naman yan eh. But we really need the communities, the individuals in the society to just really work together and report when they see animal cruelty or just, stray animals walking along the street, right? For them to be rescued. But I know that you have rescued so many animals already since you were growing up. You opened your home already to a lot of stray cats and dogs. Is there a particular story that, parang the most memorable for you, the most memorable rescue experience that you had?
Well, I would have to say I'm very biased. Of course, I would have to go with my own puspin, teddy bear.
Teddy bear, okay.
Yes, of course,
Teddy
of
bear's
course.
watching it.
She probably is. She stays at home all day. She doesn't work.
Aww.
So I think that would be the most memorable for me, because of course when you're living with a pet, you can get to know them, their behavior, their attitude. And I'm sorry to Teddy Bear, but I've noticed she's kind of dumb. So
Oh my gosh, she just called
Hindi masyadong smart.
It's okay. Cover your ears, teddy bear. Your mommy did not just say that on
No,
national
you know what
TV.
Teddy Bear's doing? As soon as she enters her house, Teddy Bear's gonna be stalking. Just watching and waiting. Hi, Teddy Bear.
Or doing all these tricks, like, Mommy, no, Mommy, I'm smart.
I'm sorry to say that, but she's not exactly the brightest cat, because we've had a lot of puspins, and a lot of them are very smart, very intelligent, but not Teddy Bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teddy bear's just special. I wouldn't call her dumb. Just,
Okay.
she's
But I'm sure she's
special
lovable.
lot.
She is.
Okay.
So that's the most, for me, very rewarding, I would say, because I kind of feel like she would not survive on the streets.
Oh my gosh,
She's not street
attorney.
smart.
She's IQ smart, but not EQ smart, so it's okay.
No, attorney. I don't know. I'm here. I'm Teddy Bear. I got you. I'm on your side, all right? You're smarter than you think, Teddy Bear. But thank you so much for joining us here, Attorney.
Thank
Really
you as well.
appreciate
Thank you so much. And one more thing, if there are people who want to volunteer, where can they find you? Where can they message you?
Okay, so we are actually opening applications for volunteers on May 1. So you can find information on our Facebook page, that's Philippine Animal Welfare Society, or on our website, that's paws.org.ph. We are also on Shopee, actually, if you want to buy any of the merchandise I mentioned earlier, the crochet plush dolls.
Yung mga cats and dogs sa shop. Nasa online shopping na eh.
May free shipping na sila.
May free shipping rin.
So we are on Shopee under Philippine Animal Welfare Society.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you.
Animal rights advocate, Attorney Janna Abella, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you so much, Attorney. And coming right up, I'll be joined by Chef Jamie Natividad as we explore his thoughts on how culinary arts, sustainability, and community impact intersect at Taal Vista Hotel. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, more businesses are recognizing the importance of sustainability for the environment and the community. Now, restaurant in Tagaytay stands out by using local and eco-friendly materials that reduce waste and conserve energy, benefiting both the planet and the local communities. Now, to discuss how the culinary industry can support sustainability, we are joined via Zoom by Chef Jamie Natividad of the Taal Vista Hotel. Magandang umaga, Chef. Thanks so much for joining us on It's a Beautiful Day.
Good morning.
All right, so Chef Jamie, let's start off first with this whole idea of the culinary world becoming more sustainable, especially when it comes to the environment that you're part of and trying to cater to the local community as well. Just when we talk about sustainability in the culinary world, what is that exactly?
Using sustainability for me in the culinary industry is using more local ingredients that are found within a certain area you are in. And sometimes you can't do that. We can get source out vegetables from Baguio and other places. But we have a community garden here in Taal Vista, and we have lettuces, arugula, and kale. And we have malunggay, we have other fruit-bearing trees that when they are in season, we use them in our buffet or in some of our specials.
Well, one of the things that you're known for is the malunggay pancit verde. And you mentioned malunggay as part of it. All of this is sourced locally in your garden, I'm sure, at least a big chunk of it. When people think about where they source the ingredients, just how big of that is how big of a factor is that actually in terms of reducing the carbon footprint and making sure that it is sustainable in the longer run?
Since we have a malunggay tree in the property, or a few of them around the side of the ridge, it's very easy for us to ask our gardeners to get them.
Yeah.
But also, it's very accessible in our local markets.
When you take a look at how the conception of all of this, can you tell us a bit about the idea of the menu that you actually do create with sustainability in mind?
With sustainability, we try to use as much local items as we can, especially with the given area we have. We used to have a special. The first special we had, we used maliputo from Taal Lake. And then we used local vegetables from Benguet. We use singkamas to stuff it with carrots and all that. And we use basil from the garden as well. But for this particular dish, I've been using malunggay pesto for the longest time. It's nothing new for a lot of us. It's just another alternative for basil, which sometimes when it rains, it's really hard to source out.
Yeah.
In our gardens. So it's very simple and easy, and we use cashews instead of pine nuts, again, to lessen the carbon footprint. For me, lessening the carbon footprint is when we get imported items, sometimes it's difficult to get good items like vegetables or protein.
Yeah, because you do source a lot of it locally, I can only imagine that you have probably a deeper appreciation of the local dishes around your area in particular. Is that the case? Because the Taal area in general does have a rich culinary history, especially when it comes to heritage Filipino food.
Definitely, and there are a lot of farms in the area. So there's a lot to look forward to and actually utilize. It's just finding the right supplier.
When you look at this whole concept of sustainability, in the kitchen itself, apart from using the ingredients, have you changed the way that you do things, the way that you lead your team to make sure that there is this sort of shift to be more conscious about it?
I think it's just being more creative. If you look at it this way, we grew up. We didn't have during my time when I grew up. I was born in the 70s and early 80s. I was already cooking, and it was mostly local items we were using. So it's just going back to that and just being more creative.
I really like that. By the way, you don't look like you were born in the 70s. Siguro mga late 80s, 90s, mga ganon. But let's take a look at the technology that you actually use in Taal Vista, because there is something called the Orca Biodigester, which converts food into a safe liquid.
I love this machine.
Yeah, so can you explain what this is? Because I read descriptions, but I'm not quite sure what it does.
It's a biodigester. We used to have a lot of pre-service and post-service waste that really just goes to good garbage. Then since we've been very, very into sustainability the past few years, we eventually found this machine that helps us dispose of all this stuff, lessening the the garbage that we send out to the landfills.
When you take a look at that, is that not normal in your experience in terms of kitchens having this type of technology and maybe perhaps not thinking about the waste left behind in the kitchen after a day's work?
Pardon me, I'm sorry?
Is this not a typical thing, in your opinion, that should be adopted by other kitchens?
I think it should be adopted by those businesses that can afford the technology.
Yeah.
Or maybe one thing that the LGU can do is have something like this in an area where restaurants can bring. Because not a lot of companies can afford this because it's quite pricey. But that would be a good project for LGUs for the food service industry in their districts.
It feels like there has been investment in the technology, obviously, by your company. And is that felt all throughout the property and not just in some of the efforts done within the kitchen?
Yes, I believe so, because our president, Ms. Elizabeth C., is a very staunch supporter of sustainability. And all this, like Plate for the Planet and all that, was because of WWF, who had helped us with a program. Even for our buffets, we have this buffet tags that just get what you need or get what you can eat, so that there's not a lot of food waste. So those small things, I think, help out a lot. Making people conscious, or the diners more conscious.
We're actually seeing some of the material from Taal and Taal Vista. And one of them is a Plate for the Planet, and different other, obviously set menus with an advocacy. When you craft menus with the earth in mind, what do you want the consumer, your customers, what do you want them to leave with when it comes to their experience dining with this particular set menu?
Sometimes you'd like to impress them by them thinking, oh, you can do this with this ingredient, this particular ingredient. Oh, it's local and you made it taste this way.
And of course, looking ahead to the different plans that you have, obviously it's in the menu, it's in the processes, it's in the technology that you have in the kitchen, and there are best practices also done by the Alvista Hotel in general. But are there any other steps that you feel you could take to advance this even further, especially where you are in the kitchen?
Well, I think we can do further menu planning, also to help again reduce more or lessen the waste. Like when we have forecast our guests and everything, we try to gauge how much they're going to be consuming.
Yeah.
Help us lessen our production and thereby lessening the waste.
How do you manage keeping the quality high? Because some people think that, okay, it has to be green, it has to be eco-friendly. Some people have the notion or the idea na, okay, dahil green to, maybe it's less convenient. But is that the case for you guys? Do you find yourself sacrificing anything when it comes to quality, trying to serve this purpose?
Not really. There's a lot of good local produce out there. So it's just a matter of looking for it and not taking too much stocks in by scheduling them properly, arriving and just using them for a day or two, maybe 3 days maximum. And then that's when you request new items come in.
Is that the most difficult part of your job in particular, sourcing out the local produce that is one of
Sometimes,
quality?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, sometimes sourcing, because some of these farmers are small scale. So sometimes the greens are sold out easily if you because there are a lot of people interested, or sometimes it's raining or the weather does not permit, and they just are not available.
Can you give us an idea of if someone's going to go to the Alvista Hotel right now and wants to experience and taste really an eco-friendly experience, what will they expect, especially if they order a set menu like as we mentioned a while ago, the Plate for the Planet?
Well, for the Plate of the Planet for this summer season, we have the pancit verde. It's a greener take on, meaning literally green, and more easier to prepare than the pancit palabok or pancit luglog, because I added to it the smoked fish or the tinapa. So it has that taste. And when we had our tasting and we had our guests try it, they were pleasantly surprised that it was green, but it tasted something very familiar to them. That's why I think they liked it right away, and it was welcomed very well.
You know what? I know it's early in the morning, but you're already making us hungry. And Chef, really
do visit at some point.
100%. We'd love to be there as we're showing it right now. A bit of your creations there. Again, Chef, thank you so much for sharing all this with us. And of course, we hope to see you in person soon. Try out your dishes and experience all of the efforts that you're doing to try and balance out the environment and, of course, the quality of the hospitality. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right, Chef Jamie for us, and thank you so much once again. Now, we have more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Keep it here on BNC, the 29 News Channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching. It's a beautiful day. Sunday is market day for most Filipinos. That is why flea markets are a go-to for what Filipinos call anik-anik. Our Mojo Joan Manalo has more.
South Trading Post is a familiar name in the South. With most events held in Alabang, they are bringing the vibe to Makati for the first time, gathering around 60 brands and small businesses, offering everything from vintage clothes, handmade crafts, vinyl records, stickers, flowers, and of course, those irresistible anik-anik or little knickknacks.
Actually, we've been going po kahit sa Alabang, and then we tried it here lang sa Makati. I'm into ano po kasi, like yung stickers, prints, arts, local arts po. I hope we can bring more ano po, like local artists sa scene na ganito since they deserve it po.
And for small business owners like Bella Dolor, it is more than just a place to sell.
So Fiat Label is a brand that loves to promote the Philippines. We actually source all of our fabrics from the Philippines, and we really do have values in that. I definitely love events like this because it just builds such a sense of community with everyone. So we meet a lot of our customers online, but getting to meet them in person and through events like this, like really builds a greater connection.
Justin Francisco, co-owner of South Trading Post, shares how their mission evolved over time.
I think initially what we wanted to do was be like a small incubator for like these small entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs and small businesses. But I think over time, since like the past year and a half that we've been operating and having events, it's really turned into like a community. So I think initially people would go for shopping, but then like the more they go to our events, it really becomes more of a way to connect.
Beyond the pints and the fun, events like South Trading Post Weekend Flea Market are a celebration of community, creativity, and passion. And through gatherings like this, they're building spaces where art, stories, and connections come together. Joan Manalo, Billionario News Channel.
Filipino artistry is world-class, and a couple of exhibits in Europe are showcasing artworks that's proudly Pinoy. Our Europe correspondent Dick Villanueva reports.
Filipino artistry taking center stage in the two separate art exhibits in Europe. In Paris, 14 Filipino painters showcase their artworks at an international art gallery. The concept of their pieces revolves around the theme, One Apple, One Love. According to artist and organizer Lovely Albarracin, the apple symbolizes two things, love and sin, based on the story of Adam and Eve.
Ito kasing apple na to, nag-start to nung nag-start ako nag-painting apple. History of Adam and Eve, normal. But the apple is symbolized of love. Then the other part is sin. But I gave the positive side, which is love. So doon nag-start yon. So and apple is, yung shape niya, it's heart shape. That's why it gives love.
Also featured in the exhibit is a masterpiece of Siningning Ali, a native of Quezon Province and the 2024 Leonardo da Vinci International Prize awardee. Another source of Filipino pride is Rochelle Rivera, an independent visual artist in the Philippines. She was included in the Female Artist of the World featured on the iconic Times Square billboard in New York on February 14, 2024.
Bilang isang pintor, marami ako mga nag-inspirasyong obra at mga maestrong pintor na kilalang kilala sa buong mundo. Those are European artists na gaya ni Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Johannes Vermeer, Claude Monet, and Vincent van Gogh.
This piece by Filipino artist who also works as a baker in a well-known bake shop in Paris also caught the attention of many. Another art exhibit was recently held at the Philippine Embassy in The Hague, Netherlands, called La Mode Moi. Artists used the Filipiniana dress as their canvas, which was then featured on the runway by fashion models. The event was spearheaded by the Philippine Embassy in The Hague, led by Ambassador Jose Eduardo Malaya. According to Chelo Ni Mercado, artist and organizer of the event, La Mode Moi is dedicated to women around the world. She said women's contributions to all fields, including arts, are immeasurable. Dick Villanueva, Billionaire News Channel, Paris, France.
Another shakeup in the fashion industry as Italian luxury group Prada is potentially buying Versace, uniting two of the biggest names in Italian fashion. An Italian newspaper reports the 1 billion euros deal could be announced on Thursday. Versace was bought by New York-based Capri Holdings in 2018 for 1.8 billion euros, but has been recently operating at a loss. So if this pushes through, it's going to be really big. Imagine combining Prada and Versace, right?
I mean, like, I wish I knew more about how this would work, to be quite honest. But then I can only imagine just the type of cultural impact it would have, especially especially when you talk about some of the influencers out there, some of the celebrities out there who really are known or connected to those brands.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I feel like Prada and Versace, they are both different, their design. So I'm really interested in seeing how they collaborate.
Yeah,
and
how they
actually,
fuse together both styles,
Yeah.
especially in the fashion scene.
and Prada is the only, I think, one of the only houses that she's the granddaughter. The creative director is the granddaughter of the actual Prada. So her last name is Prada. And Miu Miu is one of their subsidiaries. I love Miu Miu, so I did not know that. I just learned that today. So
I like how you made the connection. But yeah, I mean, like,
Just saying.
Yeah, no, 100%. But, you know, we got a lot more in store for the show. We're not done
That's
yet.
right. We got more stories for you guys. Plus, what do the stars have in store for us this Monday? Find out from Feng Shui Master Hans Kua after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hi there, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. So, is today your lucky day? Let's go find out from our resident energizer and feng shui master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for today, Monday, April 7. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, maging adaptable sa pagbabago sa trabaho. Ito ay makakabuti sa iyo. Orange at 3. Para naman sa Year of the Ox, iwasan gumastos sa mga bagay na hindi mo naman talaga kailangan. Blue at 9. Kay Tiger naman tayo, magpahinga kung nakakaramdam ka na ng sobrang stress. Red at 7. Kay Year of the Rabbit naman tayo, ang konsistensiya sa trabaho ay magbibigay ng mas maraming opportunities. Yellow at 5. Kay Dragon naman, pag-isipan maigi bago mag-invest sa bagong negosyo. Green at 3. Kay Snake naman tayo, mag-ingat iwasan natin na ang love triangles magulo ang sitwasyon na yan. Blue at 9. Ito naman kay Year of the Horsey. Subukan ang yoga para sa flexibility at relaxation. Pink at 6. Kay Shift naman tayo, maglaan ng oras para sa usapang heart-to-heart with your partner. Red at 8. Kay Monkey naman tayo, maging organized sa deadline para iwasan o maiwasan natin ang stress. Orange at 4. Sa mga Year of the Rooster naman, ang tamang financial planning ay magdadala ng masaganang kinabukasan. Yellow at 7. Kay Year of the Dog naman, magtabi ng porsyento ng iyong kita para sa emergency funds. Green at 2. Kay Year of the Pig naman tayo, panatiliin healthy ang diet upang hindi lumala ang allergies mo. Pink at 1. Ako po si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang ito po ay mga patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo mo. Abangan ang horoscope for the day dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua. So I need to have a heart-to-heart talk with my partner daw.
let us know how that
bakit?
goes.
I don't know, sabi ni Master Hans eh.
Just be like, Alvin, we need to sit down.
It's for a phosphorus future, okay? So, I
Phosphorus?
mean, like,
I can't wait to see you do yoga.
I actually do.
Oh, you do yoga?
You're flexible
Okay.
pala like
Yeah, no,
that.
I enjoy doing yoga. It's fun. But yeah, I mean, like, Master Hans always bringing the energy.
Always.
And always teaching Mo new Tagalog words.
I know.
Yeah, actually, I
Masagana.
learned so much from Master Hans, but then I forget
Yeah.
about them after the show. They're so hard to pronounce. Like the lawyer earlier, Janna, I forgot what she said. The K-cat.
Kabalikat.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
K-cat. And that's it. Pansit.
Anyway, let's move on to the Aurora province, where the famous Baler is located. It's also preparing for the influx of tourists this vacation season. As Francis Falve tells us, additional police personnel have been deployed to the area.
A few days before the anticipated break for Holy Weekend summer, business and tourism in Baler slowly pick up. Groups of motorcycle riders took souvenir photo in the town's landmarks. This is Khaled Osmani's first time to visit the Philippines. He came from Sweden and is only staying for a few days. That's why he's trying to see as many attractions in the town as possible.
I have been around because I love swimming and try to learn surfing.
Baler Aurora is famous for surfing waves, and returning to Sabang Beach is included in Pedro Lox's bucket list. He took his family with him to experience the beach and the waves.
Uling punta ko dito 2015 pa. So, nag-mark sa akin to kasi dito ako first natutong mag-surf. And alam ko yung spot na to, pang surfing talaga, pang beginner. Siyempre, ako beginner. Sa ibang magagaling, astig din yung swell dito. And mababaw.
Locals lost livelihood since they've experienced a decline in their tourism industry during the pandemic. They are hopeful that this year will be a good year for business and tourism. Tourist police has already been deployed in strategic places for security and to assist their guests. Traffic rerouting will be implemented as well.
Baler Tourism Office expects more guests to visit and ride their waves, which according to them is the birth of Philippine surfing.
PNP warns the public to take extra caution. PNP data shows high drowning incidents during summer season. They in fact recorded 125 cases in 2023 and 90 last year. The PNP Maritime Group's task is for port security and quick response in recreational and coastal emergencies.
Sila po yung may tasking upang palakasin po yung ating kampanya para maiwasan po yung drowning incident sa mga tourist spots na may mga paliguan po. Ang pinakamalaki po ay ang Region 1 na alam naman natin na may mga magagandang beaches at po yung Region 4A.
The Highway Patrol Group, meanwhile, will serve as safety marshals and reinforcements to ongoing COMELEC-initiated checkpoints. Francis Polbe, Bellionario News Channel.
Now in world news, Pope Francis makes his first public appearance at the Vatican since he was discharged from hospital 2 weeks ago. The Holy Father made his way at St. Peter's Square in a wheelchair Sunday to greet cheering crowds. The 88-year-old pontiff had been out of public view since March 23 after he was hospitalized due to double pneumonia, the most serious health crisis of his 12-year papacy.
Now, have you guys had breakfast already? Because I haven't, and here's an idea. Hollywood actress Gwyneth Paltrow puts the spotlight on a popular Filipino breakfast staple. Now, on Instagram, the Iron Man actress said she tried her hand at making pork tocino for her husband, TV director Brad Falchuk. She described the NYT cooking tocino recipe as sweet, savory, and incredibly flavorful. Filipinos, of course, stormed the comment section recommending Gwyneth to try the staple Filipino dish with garlic rice, vinegar, and tomatoes on the side. Miss Goop out here trying tocino. It looks good.
Oh, she made it from scratch.
Yeah,
she also
legit.
used cauliflower rice,
Oh,
so
super
it was going to be different.
on
So really
brand.
healthy, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you know,
tocino is really easy to make if you think about it, and you just marinate the pork.
yeah, it also depends on how long you marinate it, and then of course. But either way, great Filipino staple, and Gwyneth Paltrow, welcome to the club because that is a fantastic Filipino breakfast.
Hold on, what is she doing with the eggs though? Why did she strain the eggs? Gwyneth out, yeah, she was straining it. Gwyneth out here really elevating. I don't know what she's doing. She made it so complicated.
Yeah, pero it's true though, all those comments saying that it goes well with fried rice. So you really need your garlic fried rice with that and your eggs and your achara.
Yeah, actually, I wonder if
the
people commented and said
Achara might be the hard one to
achara
make.
is- No, it's just pickled vegetables. Achara is actually really
No, yeah,
easy
no,
too.
you gotta pickle it.
Yeah, which that's
You
easy.
have to prepare
literally
it
just put
beforehand.
You just put it in a jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's easy.
So have it
I love homemade
prepared in
achara.
advance and then put it in your
Yeah.
fridge.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
anytime you need achara, just spoon it up.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I want tocino now. I
With
just had
cauliflower
tocino on
rice?
Friday.
No, with
I'm gonna pass on
shirataki
the
rice.
cauliflower rice. I'm gonna have regular garlic rice.
She's gonna have shirataki rice. You can't garlic that.
No, you can.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
The dry shirataki.
The
you
dry
can.
shirataki.
Okay, that's another debate. They're saying, right,
What?
the dry shirataki rice is not really shirataki rice compared to the wet one.
Yeah, actually,
It
it's
has
not
a little
as.
bit
Yeah,
more.
because of the fact that it used tapioca and rice flour.
Yeah, so
it's
there's still
practically-
carbs.
Yeah, so
I mean,
it's not the
still
same.
Yes.
It
better
destroys keto
alternate.
diets.
But if
Yeah.
you compare it to the carb content,
But weren't you on
with
keto?
the white, no, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if you compare it with the white rice, the carb content of
Yes,
white
I mean
rice,
it's still
oh my
a
goodness,
better
yeah,
carb. I
it's
just
still a
don't
better
like the
alternative.
wet shiratake rice. It tastes funky to me.
No, you
Not
have to
weird.
rinse it.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
rinse it.
I know, but it just still tastes weird compared to the dry one. The dry one legit tastes
Either
like
way, yung
rice.
ginamit ni Gwyneth Paltrow cauliflower rice, masarap din yun, in
I do
fairness.
not cauliflower
Yeah,
rice.
yeah.
I just tocino. You need to eat that with rice.
Actually, that is true.
But kudos to Miss Goop for making that. So I'm so happy. She
Someone
is
bring us
on that Filipino
tocino,
club.
please.
Guys, whatever rice you prefer, thank you so much for joining us this Monday morning on April 7. This is It's a Beautiful Day. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us. May the rice be with you.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Make today unforgettable by having tocino and fried rice, choosing joy and spreading love and kindness wherever you go.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Please send us some food this week.
Kain na ka pa.
Please, I'm so hungry. I hope you have a great Monday ahead. Make sure to join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day.